Welcome one, welcome all, welcome to the Victor Hugo OpenDev. I am Bridger, and today we are jumping back into Humankind. They have another open beta here, which they call OpenDev. We're going to be trying to crank up the difficulty here. The last one only had 3 difficulty levels. This one has 7. The default it had me set on Metropolis, which I guess is probably like Settler or Chieftain or something from the Civ games. It doesn't tell you on any of these tooltips like, this is the level at which the AI is not cheating. I'm going to guess it's this one. But we're going to start on Empire and see what happens. I played a little bit of this so far, just to keep myself fresh on anything that had majorly changed. There do appear to be quite a bit of significant improvements. Big fan of that. You may hear the sound cut out sometimes. It's actually something I can avoid. There we go. I am trying to take notes as I go through of things that I think could be improved. Like, for example, one I just kind of looked at is the Stonehenge has a tooltip that is really freaking confusing. I don't think we'll be able to see it here. Not for a while, but it basically said plus 10 food per co-religionist territory. What the hell does that mean? It turns out it just means for each territory that shares the same religion as your state religion. I don't know why they had to write it as co-religionist, but c'est la vie. So, like the Lucy OpenDev, this one starts with the same map every time. It's not a randomized map yet. They've built this map in a particular way. Now, one of the things they mentioned is they did want to try to focus on some water exploration and combat and things in this one. So, in the Neolithic era, for those of you not familiar, there's 3 different ways that you can advance into the Ancient Age. One of them is have 5 population and or units. One is to discover curiosities to accrue 10 science. And one is to hunt a total of 3 animal units. It turns out that the first and the third are fairly trivial and easy to do, but that middle one is a bit more difficult and luck-based, and I think that's why it also unlocks a Neolithic legacy trait. I did not see what that did the first time, but I would like to. So that these curiosities spread around the map either give you food or science this early in the game. I'm definitely going to want to try and find science just so I can figure out what that does, even if it slows us down a little bit. So we are now going to be attacking this, hunting this animal from a high vantage point, which means that we get a +4 from high ground. Oh, wow, it fought back with its antlers. Watch out. And we hit it again. Did not kill it. It might kill itself on us right now. There's only 3 rounds to each combat. And this is obviously a very simple combat situation here because there's only 1 unit in each army. That gets bigger and bigger as the game goes on, obviously. And we've also, more importantly, earned 5 food and 5 influence. Now, the food, because this is a sort of a specialized type of unit, it can absorb food from killing enemies, and that just grows its size. This is the tribe that everybody starts with at the beginning. So now, the question is, do we throw down an outpost somewhere? And I think we do, but I want to put it over near this river, probably. World Deed Locked. The wonderful Danakil Desert has been locked by another empire. So one of the things that this game, again, for those of you not familiar with Humankind, the way that you win this game is by gaining fame, which you can't even see yet because we're not even in the right era. But as you play through the game, you get fame for doing all kinds of things, for fighting enemies, for expanding, for gaining money. You get fame for all of it. And where do we want to put this? Probably somewhere right on this river. That's going to be my guess. Oh, there's a little thing here for bonus food. Little thing here for bonus food. I think we want to put the outpost right there. Should have done it this turn. Oh, well. And you gain fame by doing all these things. And one of the other ways you can gain fame is by completing deeds before anybody else. So somebody else found this particular natural wonder of the world, and they got 50 fame for finding it first. We are going to start a small outpost here. And you can see that this outpost will generate 13 food and 8 production.
Let's do it.
Yeah! Okay. And now I think we get no other moves. Okay, that's fine. I want to go out and I want to find more science. Oh, hey, another one of them deer. Let's go hunt them. Same exact situation as before. I probably could have auto-resolved it, but I just wanted to make sure that things go as we expect. Increase combat strength when defending, huh?
Together.
There we go. So we should, again, get 5. Yep, we gained 5 food and 5 influence, which means we gained a new member of our hunting party. Beautiful. Because what I want to do is split these off and have them explore in different directions. So this one that's full is going to go explore this way, over towards that curiosity, which gave us 15 more food. Excellent. Oh, dang it. I didn't have it pulled out. Okay, well. We'll work on that. Okay. You leave. There we go. So this one's going to come down this way. This one's going to go up and gain yet another one that's going to split off. So I'm trying to find the science curiosities. They're out here just like this, but they're science instead. Meanwhile, you can see our outpost here is slowly growing. It can't do anything early on. Outposts are things that will eventually turn into cities. And this sanctuary you can see here is actually a location where the wildlife will spawn. So it's a question of, do you want to destroy the sanctuary, or do you want to just farm the wildlife that comes out of it? I think you get a benefit for destroying the sanctuary. Good news is, this time they have to come uphill to attack us, which is weak, significantly weaker, you can see.
For our young.
So we got a little bit more food, a little bit more influence. And more influence, I believe, means... And we got the Hunter Star. So we could immediately convert into a ancient era civilization right now. I'm not going to do that because I'm trying to explore some things in the game. Oh, we was the first to discover Mount Roraima. So we gained 50 fame for that. We also, you can see, we got fame for getting our first star. We'll get 20 fame for each of these stars if we can get them. And the other thing about the way that fame and the stars work... Oh boy, you know what? I don't think this is a good idea. We're going to just stay here and hope that thing comes to us. It does! Huzzah! We didn't want to attack it up a hill, so now at least we're on even ground. The animals are not supposed to... It says that they're fight with erratic behavior, right? So they're kind of randomly... They'll randomly move around. But if it was an AI human player, it theoretically would probably have stayed up on that high ground and not come down to let me slaughter it. That's the hope, anyway. But it makes total sense to me that the wildlife wouldn't have a particular intelligence to maintain that. So, okay, we could go that way. What is that, a reef? Coral reef, yeah. Lots of science over there. We could go this way, which would get us closer to getting another tribesperson. Yes, I know I've earned an era star. Ah, here's some science. That's interesting. It was right there and we missed it. All right. Let's have everybody continue to explore here. We're not going into the next era yet. We're going to gain all of the stars from this era, which isn't necessarily the right thing to do because I think these stars will start to go down and, you know, you can't really start building buildings until you get to the ancient age. So staying in this era could be a mistake. Let's see. What did we get? We got 1 science and 5 influence. Well, that is disappointing, but we found another science one. What did we get here? 2 science and 5 influence. That's not enough. I think we're going to have these guys go down in this direction. And have these guys go over here. They have fixed the thing that I was bothered by in the first. It's not just a deer. It's a herd of deer being represented by a single one that's attacking us with antlers. I like to imagine with the deer, at least, it's probably the strength of our fighters are being reduced. Maybe if we corner it, but otherwise it's just going to run away. There might be some persistence hunting going on over here. All right, hopefully, come on, 3. Can we get 3? Nope, that's 1 plus 5. Now, it seems like it wouldn't be a terrible idea to start a new one of these since we can do it with 20. And this would give us a good combination of food and production for later. Ooh, but, oh, it's got suggested areas. That's interesting. 18 and 2, 12 and 15. Holy McGillicuddy, Batman. Rivers are amazing. Forest, river, and waterfall gives 3 food and 3 industry. Forest and river gives 1 food and 2 industry. So what about the waterfall gives 2 food and an industry? Is that what's going on there? Yeah, because 1 food and 2 industry is what it is for most of the wooded areas over here. But yeah, I think we've found a spot where we want to put our city in this location. That's phenomenal. Let's go do it. Damn it, I missed that. That's okay. Let's go up here. It'll give us some height so we can see more. Ah, science! You can see how long it takes to get to the science one. It definitely takes longer than any of the others. We're only at 4 of 10. But I really want to see what that legacy trait is and how that helps us.
This way.
Growth Star's been unlocked, which, again, would allow us to go to the next era, but we're stalling, which may or may not be good.
What's over there?
Oh, Mammoth. Now, the Mammoth could probably do a lot of damage to us. Not have to worry about that. How about we do this first? And then we do this. A world of flame. In the distance, a thin cord of smoke cuts up into the clear blue skies. Fire! Calling a few tribesmen, you run closer, the smell of cindered bark and burning pine growing stronger with each footfall. You spy dancing flames and suddenly find yourself on the edge of a settlement on fire. Many of the structures are ablaze, but even with the smoke and flames, you can see these abodes are marvels of craftsmanship. You're about to direct your men to put out the fires with loose soil when you see short, shadowed figures running away. Youths! They could become part of your tribe if you gave a chase now, but that would mean losing these secrets of construction. What is your choice? Youths. We could chase the youths and spawns an army, my new army, in the hunting party. Okay, that seems a little bit broken, but that's okay. Understanding how to build stronger settlements will be vital. Modify city defense research costs by 25%. Is that forever? Or is it like the next city defense research cost? Let's extinguish those flames. Who cares about the youths? I don't care about the youths. Utes? No, youths. Hello, Drakenvault.
This way.
We're now at 5 science. We're still looking for something better. This could build a nomadic tribe if we wanted it to, but I think we'd rather keep the population in the city. Turns out when you turn people into military units, it does not appear... Uh-oh. What the hell's going on here? That's weird. They're invisible, and I don't know why. Okay, so this is a combat between other people? No, it shows a combat against me. I don't know what's going on. That looks like a bug. I'm still looking for science. Instead, I find more food. And more food still.
Yes,
We've ransacked one of them sanctuaries successfully. So something's going on over there. There, okay, my guys popped back into existence here. Oh, there's science up there. I want the science. Go back. Ah. All right, so these guys built that outpost that I wanted them to. I'm guessing another outpost is going to cost, 60 influence for the next one. So nothing like that anytime soon. That's going to take a long time to go up there. I mentioned they fixed the rivers. I do like how it shows you when you're going onto the river, and they changed it to be more clear here. You see it says movement points to enter is 4, movement points to follow is 1. Very useful. Let's go this way, or this way. Where was that? Over here. We got wild berries. Oh, we got to fight more deer. Where'd it go? Oh, no! It's further uphill! Oh, we're doomed. Doomed! Actually, we can attack. It doesn't gain a bonus for defending the hill, which I guess makes sense for a deer. They wouldn't be smart enough to take advantage of the hill. We, however, can take advantage of the hill. +4 from high ground. We win! Now, here's another weird bug. It shows at full strength, but here's definitely not at full strength. Oh, it's also got some veterancy, which gives it +1 combat strength. We are perhaps waiting too long. But look, the AI is also waiting to go into the next era. I wonder what it is waiting for. Because these curiosities go away, so this is a way to get some free population and science and influence. All of those are true. If we kill the sanctuary here, we get free food. So this is a way to sort of supercharge your start with extra population points, potentially. By exploring before going further. Oh, there's science down there. So we'll send somebody down there next turn. There's 2 sciences down there. Fantastic. No. No, they're going to get the science. Or they're going to ignore the science. I'm not 100% sure why they would ignore the science, but they did. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Why did we send them that way? No. No, the science is where you're going. Oh, boy.
All right.
Okay, so we did get the free food from there. Oh, we discovered Lake Bikal. I think that's the deepest lake in the largest by volume lake in the world, if I'm not mistaken. The one in Russia, right? Yes. Largest freshwater lake by volume in the world, containing 22 to 23% of the world's fresh surface water. 1/5 of the world's fresh water is in that one lake. We did get some science as well. Other people finally entered the ancient era. 3 of them did.
Understood.
All right, so you guys are going for that science. You guys are going for this science. And that might be enough to get us in there. Just those 2. There's 1. We could attack these guys. Let's try auto-resolve. Well, are they up a hill? They are not up a hill. Let's just auto-resolve and see what happens. So we didn't lose any units. That's good. The auto-resolve just gave us the victory. Although we lost a considerable amount of our strength. We'll get it back. We're nomadic tribes. We just, we do. We do what we do. All right, so we might be 1 science away. Ah, we got it. Okay, so now we can choose. Now, one of the disadvantages to waiting that long was we have to choose only from what remains. And it looks like everybody else chose empires before us, so we only get these 3 choices here. The Hittites, the Phoenicians, or the Zoo. The Zoo are aesthete. Gameplay oriented on focused on influence or diplomacy. Gains access to 2 unique actions. An influence bomb. Is that something that we're going to really be able to benefit from early on? I don't know. But we'll get a permanent benefit plus 2 stability per district. That's a very good one. That seems very good. Each district actually lowers your stability by 10. So this changes that to lowering the district stability by 8 instead of 10. Confucian School gives a bunch of free stability as well. And science. You don't get a lot of good science boosting districts early in the game. So this seems like it might be fun to play around with. We also get a heavy cavalry unit, which requires both copper and horses. I don't know that we're going to be able to get copper and horses in time, but I guess we'll try. Heavy cavalry also. Is it? Oh, they're towed vehicles. Oh, so these are like chariots. They're chariot-like devices, it looks like. Receive bonus combat strength of attacking non-adjacent enemies. Unable to climb fortifications. Bonus combat strength when stability is high. Mandate of Heaven. Very interesting. Let's try the Zoo. We've got our special Zoo outfit for our character here. So now we are in first place because we got all 3 of the early era stars. And we also discovered 2 wonders. So we got 20, 40, 60 for 20 for each of these era stars, and we discovered 2 wonders. That got us to 160. If we only discovered 1 of those wonders, then we'd be a lot lower on this list. So interestingly enough, we know that there is a strategic resource here, but we don't know what it is. It's too far into the future to know what it is. We do know that this is copper, can't use it yet. So there's actually 3 different states for strategic resources. There is completely unknown. You know there's some weird thing here that might be useful, but you don't know what it is or when it'll be unlocked. Then later, when certain strategic resources are revealed but not usable yet, I think you have to enter the era into which they are usable. So when we get into the era in which this resource is unlocked, that's when it's visible but not usable until we get the technology that unlocks it. It's a very interesting design, and I'm so far pretty happy with it. We've also got a bunch of luxury resources, which are indicated by the diamond-shaped things here. And we will go ahead. Tribe's Legacy. We stand at a crossroads. For many moons, the tribes has trekked the wilderness, slowly, tortuously, learning the secrets of this world. How the materials hidden in the deep places and in plain sight might be fashioned to the tribe's advantage. How the beasts and plants of the land and seas can be most fruitfully harvested. Blah, blah, blah. Will you be renowned as marketers, makers, farmers, or charmers? Interesting. So this is the legacy trait that we got for unlocking the science star. +1 industry per population on every city and outpost, or +1 food, or +1 science. Well, I like to think we're going to kind of roll from our zoo into a science-based society and be pretty well set up there. So let's go with astronomy. This is another thing, by the way. When you're close to getting a particular era star, it will show up over here to show you how close you are to it, which I think is very valuable. I don't know what's going on over here, but it appears to be a bug.
Later.
We're going to continue exploring, but as soon as we advance, these tribes are going to turn into scouts. Scouts cannot increase their size by simply fighting animals and gaining food that way. So that's what we lose if we go too soon. All right, so these guys, we're having them explore. We should do this eventually. Oh, huh. Oh, we're going to get one population soon. Okay. And these guys are still exploring. I'd like to keep them in pairs exploring. It seems like it wouldn't be a bad idea to put another outpost over here if possible and make our way towards having Lake Baikal in our territory, because it comes with 5 influence, 10 stability on the city that's in this area, and 10 money on the city or outpost that's in this area. That seems pretty nice. Whoa, what is this? Is that the top of the map? That's interesting. I wonder if that's just for debug. Because this could be the side of the map. No, because it can't be. I guess it could be. How far does it go up? Yeah, okay. This is like the wraparound point for the map, which wouldn't be obvious, but so it's 150 something wide. But you can't see how tall it is, really. There is no mini-map, there's just the zoomed-out view. Okay, sorry. Let's end the view and the turn.
The challenges of a young civilization. It's hard keeping up with the neighbors when they have the wheel and you don't. Humankind learns quickly that everyone contributes. If you're terrified of wild animals, you can grow lentils or catch fish. Tribes settle towns. Towns develop markets, and markets begin the exchange of goods, services, and most important, rumors and hearsay.
Oh, yes, rumors and hearsay. One of the agrarian stars has been earned automatically already. Because we have 10 population. So as soon as we got here, we were already ready. Boom. We've got an era star. Once you get 7 era stars, you can advance to the next era. Again, same as in that early Neolithic period, we don't have to advance right away. We could wait and get a bit more points in this, but all of these era stars, every turn that goes by, they go down in value for your victory points, for your fame. And because we chose the zoo, the aesthete stars are our main source of income. They're worth 50% more than all the other stars. If we had chosen one of the scientific ones, cultures, then the science stars would be worth more by 50%. So we've got +2 stability, and we've got +1 science per population on a city. So if we could build an outpost, it would cost us 60. We're still trying to build up our influence, and the only way to do that is to convert one of our territories into a city. Let's send these guys around out here and keep looking at this territory. Yeah, we've definitely found the top of the map. That's no question what that is. We do want to convert one of these into our capital. The question is, which one? This one has an incredible amount of bounty. 11 food, 15 industry. This one's only 11 and 8. So even though I really like this position eventually this is going to be our capital. And we do that by creating it as the city. And now we get to create our religion, polytheism or shamanism. Well, we know that influence is our main thing, so we definitely want shamanism. I don't know why. I guess do you create your religion immediately, or is it after a certain number of turns? I don't remember. So it would be nice to build these stone rings, but you can see it would take so many turns, partly because we have very few population. So let's see what we could do by growing this with new districts. Like in Civ 6, these districts will sort of give you some bonuses. Unlike Civ 6, these are the way that you expand your city on the map. I can't exploit anything that's not directly adjacent to one of my districts. So this would give us an extra 8 food here. What does that say? I can't see when I have it. There we go. 6. And we lose 2 production because each district can only exploit certain types of things. This district can only exploit science. So we'd have to find something that generates science. It looks like that is one thing we could use, potentially. But it can only be built once per territory. So even though this is a really cool district, there's unfortunately not a lot of... Well, we've got this over here that's science. If we could eventually get to build this here, it would be able to exploit all science adjacent to it. So maybe that gives us an idea of where we want to start going. Although we will be able to exploit this when we get to bronze working, and then we're just 2 hexes away. All that means we're going to need a lot of buildings. Maybe we should consider this. +6 or +8. We'd lose access to the food on this tile, which is very disappointing because it's a lot of food and a lot of production. But we get so much more production by exploiting this with a maker's quarter. And then we can gain the food by going over in this direction. That's what we're going to have to do. For now, it's going to take quite a lot of... Well, only 5 turns, actually. It's not a lot. So we have found another empire over here, this yellow area. We're going to go ahead and play a little aggressively. We've got 3 scouts here.
Come over here.
Oh, you know what we could do? To speed up our early game, we could combine these 2 into a single city. The advantages of combining 2 territories into a mega city, or multiple territories into a mega city, appear to be that you only have 1 set of buildings you need to build. You see all these square things like a lumber yard or animal barns or a granary. These things work per city. You need to build 1 of these in each city. You can't build more than 1. They're basically buildings from Civ 6. And the faster you can build them, the faster you can benefit from them. And by combining 2 territories together, you add their production together to build 1 set of these buildings. If you had those territories separate, they would each have to use, let's say, half-ish as much production to build their own sets of these buildings. The disadvantage of combining them like this is you have some slightly higher stability problems, and you have slightly less overall max population you can get. You see, a single city has a population max of 8 plus 1 for each quarter you build, each district that you build. And if we add this in as a connected territory of the same city, this will get an additional 4 population. It will not get the 8 base population. Whereas if we upgraded this to a city, it would be 8 base population. So you get smaller populations, you get more stability problems when you combine them together, but you build everything faster. The other thing is, converting this into its own city costs a lot of influence. Connecting it to this only costs 30 instead of 160. So we're going to do that. So now we've got 2 city centers, administrative centers, I should say, that are now combined The religious conversion of this territory will be achieved in 5 turns. Select to open the religious screen. Oh, okay. Yeah, because we can do this to sort of see what's going on here with the religion situation. We'll come back to that later when it's more prevalent. But we can now build quarters in any of these territories. We could build it up here or down here, adjacent to either administrative center. In fact, if we wanted to build food, this appears to be the best option for us going forward. So that's probably what we'll do next. +7 from exploitation. You can see again, you get that +2 stability is nice. As long as your stability is above 90%, you've got a higher chance of good events. Positive events are more likely to occur in this city. If you're between 30 and 90, you're still okay. You've got an equal chance of good and bad events. And there's not really anything negative that's happening. When you go below 30, that's when the big bad things happen. And there are ways to get your stability up. Most notably religion early on, I believe. All right, so science, we got to figure out what to do with science. We know we want, well, stability isn't terrible. We want something that provides, yes, influence. That's what we want. So we're going to go ahead and do those 2. Each one has a base of 3 science. Is that what we're getting here? 4 science from districts. Oh, 3 from main plaza, 1 from administrative center. So that outpost turned into administrative center. And then 3 science from the civilization bonus. The astronomy one that we chose because it's 1 per district. That was this right here. Bonus science. Okay. I think it was, right? Per population on city or outpost. Yeah, and this has a total of 3 population, which is why we're getting the bonus 3. Okay. I see how this all breaks down now. We could also tell our population to split anywhere we want. We're going to have a balanced policy, which will put 1 in each and then 2 in each, etc. We could also go with city growth, which puts everything into food and industry before expanding. But I think we're going to stay with balanced for now because we do need the science to unlock those influence options. Turn that back off. So we're now just exploring the world here. There's still a weird bug over here. I don't know if it's going to work. Now, here's the other thing. When you convert from a Neolithic into an ancient era, your units stop healing everywhere. You're no longer nomads. These guys are a scouting party sent out, but they're not set up for the nomadic lifestyle like they used to be. In order to heal them, I have to bring them back to friendly territory. Which makes exploring a little bit more interesting, because you don't want to fight if you can avoid it. Let's see if we can't find out who is... Oh, there's another faction over here. In order to perform this action, you have to make a declaration of war against the Olmecs. Huh. Well, that's bonkers. That's also kind of a bug. We're going to save that, see if I can submit that later. They probably know about it. But what appears to happen there is it treated this as a neutral area until we met them. And now...
It is my great honor, as the leader of a great people, to greet you in their name.
We could see if we can get them to do open borders so that we're not frozen.
The world is full of new opportunities, is it not? Hear my proposal.
My people need more.
I expected far better from you.
They accepted in exchange for 30 coins. Well, we'll get... For the moment, those guys are frozen unless we declare war. We don't have enough war support to declare war. Okay, well, they're stuck there then.
Off we go. Right. That's not possible. Follow me.
Oh, if I give them... okay. If I give them an order to leave the territory, they're still allowed to leave. That's good. I'm afraid I have to refuse his counteroffer. Now, this is an interesting area. The civics, certainly nothing like the civics from Civ. You've got these 4 axes on which you go. Individualism versus collectivism. If you go all the way over into this area of individualism, you get 10% money on your cities and outposts. If you're all the way over on this side, you get 10% industry on your cities or outposts. And so on and so forth. If you got world versus homeland, so it seems that's more like globalism versus isolationism almost. This gives you bonus food per alliance on your cities. This gives you bonus food on your cities themselves. So this one's 10% flat. This one's only 4%, but it could go up past 10% pretty easily and quickly, I think. And then in the middle, by the way, is just stability. Stability, stability, stability. If you're all straight down the middle, you get bonus stability. If you're over on the far end, you can get science, you can get lower the speed at which enemies convert your territory due to influence, bonus food, bonus money, or bonus production, bonus food, bonus influence, or bonus faith. So faith and science are opposites here. Influence and in defense against enemy influence are there. Food and food, but in different ways, industry and money. And in the areas in between, you get 10 stability and some smaller portion of probably half each time. Yeah, 2 and 4, 2 and 4, 5 and 10. So what we've got to decide, every time we make one of these civics choices, it shifts over 3, one way or the other. And also gives us these bonuses. So do I want each holy site to be +5 faith, or do I want each main plaza to gain +5 influence? Well, we know we are an aesthete culture, so this one is going to be much to our favor. These dials, by the way, these regions, these scales, I guess you could call them, can be balanced any way you want, but events can also balance them. So it seems like civics move them by 3 points, events will move them by 1 point in either direction. And the civics that you can actually choose are only revealed through special events triggered by actions occurring in your empire, which is really interesting, right? I can't do this one because we haven't had the trigger to make it work. And it looks like, okay, civics related to military and martial matters, spending and investment, treatment of criminals and other civil issues, organization of your ministry and politics, day-to-day life, cultural issues and art, and civics related to beliefs and what is acceptable. I don't know if there's a way to find out what the trigger is. I mean, I'm sure somebody could look into the game code, or you could just, through trial and error, you could figure out, oh, when you declare war on somebody, it gives you this civic or whatever. Maybe when you build a certain number of units, it gives you that civic. So we're going to wait with these guys here. Meanwhile, we're exploring up here with these guys still. Ooh, what is this? Incense deposit, which gives stability. Most of the luxuries, if not all of them, give +5 stability per city, per resource. 5 stability per silk on all cities. See, silk is flat. You get +5 stability per silk on all cities, but this one's written differently. On all cities, +5 stability per incense. Are those not the same? Hard to say. Might just be that they're still working on localization. This music is, by the way, very different from the music that I had when I played the Harappans. So it looks like the zoo have their own thing going on there. Should I, go down here and try to fix this bug? I don't know what's going on there, but I could try to fix it by engaging it.
So, what do you say?
The Olmecs want to trade luxuries. Let's allow that. That'll benefit both of us once we actually get the ability to, you know, extract luxuries. Yeah, let's confirm battle. And we'll keep our units. Actually,
Okay.
let's put them on. Let's see if we can draw the mammoth into a trap here by passing. Yes! He got aggressive and he came up for us. And he took a little bit more damage than he did. Now we can get the high ground advantage attacking down. And we're attacking... If you have units on opposite sides of them, you get the bonus +4 from rear attack. If your units are next to each other, they get morale bonuses for how many friendly units are next to each other. So there's a pretty interesting tactical game going on here. And you can see, slaying the wildlife gets you money instead of food once you go into the ancient era. Oh no, the unrelenting deluge of rainfall. So here's a situation where we're actually shifting a little bit to the right. Or no, to the left, I'm sorry. Yeah, it goes to the left here. On our economic axis. This would shift to the right on our economic axis, and this would shift to the right on our social axis. Problem is, it's giving me the option to do this, but I don't think we have the money. I'm going to try this one. Oh yeah, it just gets us down to -10. I see. So now we can actually move along the water really cheaply.
Follow me.
All right, well, we've already explored all of this. What is this? Coastal water. I mean, it looks like it's a special type. I think it's just a random geography, because this, hydrothermal vents in the water, that's kind of cool. Science stuff going on there. I do love the graphics on this. It's very nice. All right, so we're out of their thing. Let's go up here and see if we can't meet some other factions.
Come over here.
Look, there might be a giant snake dragon thing, so we must go that way. Although in actuality, where's my 3? This guy. I'm going to take one of these guys out.
Off we go.
And have him come back towards us. Because what I'd like him to do is we have access to copper here. We could get access to horses here. Are there horses anywhere else that we could get access to them? I don't see any other horses. Since our special unit requires horses, I'm going to go ahead and build an outpost over here. I don't know exactly where yet, so he's going to take 6 turns to get over there. Blades of the Empire. As your horizons widen, your armies grow in lockstep with your ambitions. Now, with military power spread over the several regiments, it's time to decide the nature of soldiers who comprise your armies. So maybe that means you have to have 4 different armies in order to cause this civic to show up. We still can't do anything about it because our civics points are accrued each turn based on the average stability of our empire. The more stable it is, the faster we get those civics points. So we would like to have a very stable empire. That would be nice. And these guys have to come back to friendly territory before they can heal up, so we'll have to wait for that. There might be something that allows us to heal in neutral territory later in the technology.
Over this way.
All right, we found the Assyrians.
This is where...
Now, the Assyrians are cruel, risk-taking, and extroverted. They are eager to develop relationships. Maybe we can get a treaty with them to share maps.
The world is full of new opportunities.
They counter, they want $40 for it. Well, we can't do that, so I have to refuse. And there's also an interesting element here. Ideological proximity is based upon your civics and how well you align with them with regard to those 4 axes, the economic, the social, etc., etc. And so if you are more similar to them, they will be more willing to trade in to like you and more willing to make alliances. The more different you are, the more likely you are to be enemies. I love that little piece, and I want to see how it evolves. Ah, we've researched carpentry, so we could build a lumber yard if we have places with a lot of forests or woodlands. We are also allowed to clear forests if we want to, and we can build archers, which are ranged units, which allows them to do damage from afar, and I think they also get bonus damages for height, for obvious reasons. Now, here's the interesting piece. You notice, if we wanted to walk in here, it requires to declare war. This, however, is an outpost of whoever these guys are, the Babylonians.
How do you do, whoever you are?
It does not require a declaration of war to walk into their outpost areas. So outpost, ooh, we could buy horses from them if we had enough. Oh, they don't allow trade. Well, maybe we should try to get a trade treaty with them.
The world is full of new opportunities,
All right,
is it
so
not?
it'll allow us to do that.
Hear my proposal.
But it says we do not... Oh, it says they accepted it. It might not be effective until next turn. So we've kind of gone as far as we can with these guys, I think. The Assyrians want to trade luxuries as well. I think I'm okay with trading luxuries with everybody right now. Oh, you know what? I can't get the horse from them because that's not just luxuries. You have to trade luxuries and strategics. So we're going to heal these guys. Oh, look out. They're coming for us. The flooding's widespread across Haojing, but it might have been far, far worse. Ugh! That's terrible. So we paid the 60 or whatever just to get that outcome. Is that because we're settled next to a river, probably? We get the possibility of that. Oh, whoa, hey, whoa, hey, whoa, hey, whoa. I don't like this, Sam I Am. We could try to attack these bears. Oh, that's interesting. Hold on. Oh, dude, if you hold down... right-click, you can choose the path that you want them to follow to attack, right? So if I right-click here and then keep holding it while I go up, they'll move here and then attack. If instead I just right-click over here, they'll attack. So I could sort of make them attack from the correct angle, if that matters, which it does matter because of the way the terrain works. However, here's the good news. These guys are on rivers. Rivers give big penalties to forces. As the attacker, we get to go first. Oh no! He backed off the river! Sneaky piece of crap. Alright, so we got off the river too, which means that we can attack him. Now, we're about to go on the river, which gives us a -3 penalty for crossing the river. Unfortunately, we're just going to be stuck here. I don't want to attack him with a -3. Oops, I want to... actually just hit end round, actually. Alright, so the good news is now that we're on the river, we can get off the river. These guys can go here, and now we're attacking him from the flanks. Again, these are very simplified battles because we're fighting with very few unit types, no fortifications or city sieges going on. I've seen it get a lot more interesting, especially with regards to how the terrain is affecting everything. But we did get some money, I think, for killing him. I can't go through these guys, but I definitely don't want to move onto them. Army composition is they have scout riders who have very fast movement. Ignores enemy zones of control, particularly good for running down ranged units. Unable to climb fortifications. 14 and 4, that's 17. Yeah, so we do not want to be here. Oh, interesting. Their scouts are stronger than ours. They have 14, and we only have 13. I wonder if that's the difficulty thing, or if that is something else entirely. By the way, every type of culture has a different power. So the aesthete culture has a different power, and the merchant culture has a different power, and the scientist culture has a different power, and the expansionist culture has a different power, etc., etc. Our aesthete culture gain access to 2 unique actions. Influence Bomb instantly converts a territory to your influence regardless of its values, and Tourism Yields increases economic gains from influence control by 100% for several turns depending upon the game speed. These actions can be triggered once the meter is full. The meter is filled according to your influence generation. So in 7 turns, we'll be able to use one of these 2 abilities. Get this big mammoth away from the capital, you fools! One of the things I find is you want to try to make sure that you're founding a city somewhere with a decent amount of food, or you connect it to a territory with a decent amount of food. So if you look at this territory, there's almost no food here. Like, there's a little food down here that you could build some farmers' quarters in to actually expand it, but it's not a lot. Those are like 1 per, right? Whereas up here, remember, we had a massive amount of food all around this area because of the river and because of these areas that are providing 4 food and 2 food and 2 food over here. So you could connect this area with this one, use this one to provide food and this one to provide production. There are some areas that are probably good for both. But by and large, you can see there's not much on the ground for production of science and commerce. So, unlike Endless Legend, where you can produce a bunch of science by just going to cold areas, we saw this area up here is kind of cold, and it does have some special areas like this one and this one that give you bonus to science. There's really not like a massive area of science. Here's a crater that gives science. Here's Terra Rossa, which I think is like a particularly good clay. Red clay, red earth, I think it stands for, something like that. All right. We've finished producing a farmer's quarter. It might not be a bad idea to get stone rings that gives us faith and stability. Or do I want to keep going to try to build our specialty district over here? Enemy army. Jerk. Maybe we will build a lumber yard, because we do have some areas that are forested that we are currently exploiting. So the lumber yard will give us at least +2, +4, +6. Yeah, these 3 areas are all forests. This area up here looks like it's also, nope, rocky field and a spring. Okay, so that's a spring. And interestingly, if you put a maker's quarter on these forests, it still provides, it's still considered a forest and a river. The only difference here is we would lose the 1 food, because the way that these quarters work is they only exploit this type of resource directly underneath and adjacent to them. So if we put a maker's quarter there, it only exploits the production, not the food. And it'll also only exploit the production and not the food over here. Now we could cut down these forests in order to get more food out of this river area instead. And I'm thinking about it, and it's not a terrible plan. Anyway, let's continue to consider that lumberyard as our main thing here. Uh-oh, we've run into some enemies in our way, on our way back. Maybe we don't... if we fight them, now? We gain war support over them, but probably they get angry. The other thing about this is... Excuse me. They have a zone of control. That's what those spikes mean. It means if we move adjacent to them, we have to stop moving. That's why there's the hand. We can only go here and do 1 turn. We're going to try to avoid a combat here and see what happens.
Over this way.
Now look, there is a bunch of science here. But again, these are special features. These are geysers. This is black soil, a cave, and a crater. And you'll notice that these are like woodland, but it's woodland / nothing. Whereas over here, I think we had, well, forest is +2. Where's one? Places with 1. Stone fields have 1. Here's woodland also with nothing, but it's not snowy. So it's an interesting way that they've created this biome system that doesn't change the underlying resources. It just changes the look of the area so you have some variety. I like that. Let's see. What do we do with these two now that they're healed? Let's send them over here and see if we can fix this bug. Now that's interesting. Going on to the river would allow us to go all the way around, past them. Going on a river lets you ignore their zone of control. No, it does not. Okay, good to know. It also doesn't seem possible to capture an enemy outpost, at least not early in the game. The only option you have is to raise it to the ground and gain some gold as a result, to ransack it. So we're almost there on getting our aesthete up. 10 per turn does not seem like enough. So when the lumberyard is complete, we should probably get stone rings, because remember, we get +10 influence on holy sites. So we can double our output for that. And we could give ourselves a way to build into there. That's not a terrible idea. We could put it right here. And maybe we do city growth, which gives us extra production and extra food to help grow the population. Oops, I want that finished first. That will give us more industry so we can build this stone rings faster for our... Oh, interesting. Now, why would I want to just murder these guys? Well, because there is fame and therefore victory points. You can get era stars for murdering enemy units. Let's do an instant battle resolution and see how this goes. We did not lose any units. They did lose a unit. Now our guys are weak again, so we got to send them all the way back over here.
Come over here.
Now, what also came of that is we've created a grievance against the Babylonians.
How do you do? In every sense of the question.
The Babylonians demand that you pay them 100 because we attacked them. Even though it was in neutral territory, it's still a grievance. They can demand that I pay 100. If I accept it and just give them the money, we'll get some war support because we were extorted. If I refuse it, then it grants them war support for being aggrieved. And it also, as long as they've turned their grievance into a demand, it will prevent us from trading. The only way to allow us to keep trading is to accept their demand. Because right now, our trade rights are suspended until this is dealt with. I would like the ability to buy their mercury, but I don't have any money. So I can't give in to your demand. So we just have to refuse it. And then their choice is, do they press the demand or do they pull back? And they chose to pull back. So I gained war support because I won a battle against them. They gained war support because I refused their demand and the grievance was triggered, and then when they withdrew the demand, it also gave them some war support. And I believe you need a high war support to declare war. Cannot be done without enough war support. I don't know what that number is, but so if you fight them in the open plains, if they, take over territory that's next to yours or territory that used to belong to you, all of those things can create grievances which can allow you to go to war. I really like the detail that adds in. Here's what I don't like. I don't like the Olmecs getting closer to my territory here. I like a big neutral buffer state here. That would be great. Now I've got to figure out where to put a nice... It doesn't give me a nice thing telling me, hey, here's the best possible place you can go. So 10 and 6, that's 16. This is 14. It doesn't matter that the horses are way over here because I can put strategic resource extractors anywhere, I believe. I don't even know if you need a strategic resource extractor. I think you do. You need to research domestication. Yes, I know that. Anyway, where am I going to put... I like kind of putting it up here. 9 and 6. That's pretty close. Ooh, 12 and 4. Also 16. But this is a slightly better spread. And I can put... I can put my special science district down there. Oh ho. Only got 2 areas with science. I can only put that special science district on one of them. I also like the idea of putting this way up here where it's like inaccessible. Like this spot seems pretty good. Let's check one more thing. That special district we've got, the emblematic district, Confucian School, only exploits science. I probably want to put that directly on top of the thing that generates science. Which means I want to put it directly on top of one of these, which means it won't be generating the production, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. The other thing is this nice area that's producing 2 of each will only be producing 1 of those 2 resources unless I put my city center on top of it. If I put the city center on top of it, then it gets both. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Right in the top of this mountain. Super well defended. Anybody attacking from the north, like they have to come through the hot gates here. And then they have to climb up 1 level and then another level to get to my main part of my city. We'll have lots of good defenses against any attacks from the north from these Assyrians.
Let's go. Off we go. Over this way.
And hopefully I would also put an outpost here to help claim this area. Because this is the one that has the cool lake. So I think I want to do that as well. Claiming territory with your outpost seems like a pretty important piece. But with regards to these Olmecs, what can they give me?
What can I do for you?
What can I do for you? They don't have anything to trade yet, right? So I don't care that I'm pissing them off, if I piss them off.
Over this way.
So what I'm going to try to do
Come over here.
is destroy their outpost here. And we'll see what happens. Is it still thinking? Wow. Okay, there's a lot of stuff going on. These guys are going to heal. These guys are actually stuck in enemy territory. So this got turned into a city real quick. It's not an outpost anymore. But now I've got to build... Now, this would be an interesting area to build a city on, right there. Oh, it's trespassing. We need to move into this area. Like this spot. +7 food, +9 production. But when it gets upgraded to a city, it will also exploit the science that's adjacent to it. So let's do that. That way we'll lock this area down. These guys are in the process of locking this area down. Ta-da! Now, what can this outpost do once it's created? It can't do much. It will grow with some population, and once you finally convert or attach it to a city, that population will join it, but the population won't actively be producing anything like it does in a city. In a city, these population points are actually producing industry per population, food per population, or science or money per population. Whereas the population that would be growing from this is not. But you can exploit strategic and luxury resources in an outpost region. What they call a territory. Of course, we don't have the science to do that yet. We're trying to get our science up. We're working on it. Once we finish with this lumberyard, we'll be a lot closer. So now we can set this to the torch. It's going to take 7 turns because we only have 2 units. I bet if we had more units, it would take fewer turns. But that gives the Olmecs 7 turns to bring an army to try to stop me. After 7 turns, I'll get 43 gold from ransacking this thing. By the way, since each turn is like a couple thousand years, this is a long skirmish and a long sacking of this city. So we gained a population over here. Fantastic. And it's being put back into food. Let's put it into science. So I've manually moved one of them, but city growth must be the assignment population assignment priority. So now I'm curious if I do balanced or city growth. Okay. So once you choose one of these, it'll rebalance everything, but then any future ones are assigned per this, and your old one stays where it was. Because I want that science. I need it faster. In fact, we're getting 1 in 6 turns. Okay, we'll leave it. We'll leave it. We're getting the stone rings, our holy site. We can no longer unqueue or move the construction. Yeah, we know that. So I'm actually going to bring these guys all the way over to help defend this area. It's only going to be an outpost for quite some time. We're going to need a lot more influence to convert it into a city, and therefore, I'm going to need to defend it so that they don't ransack it the way that I'm ransacking that other area. Keepers of the Creed. An unexpected rivalry has erupted between 2 temples in Haojing, each representing a different sect of Zhu shamanism. One temple argues that religious matters should be left in the hands of dispassionate men, while other contends that only the women, with their capacity for nurturing life, possess the necessary understanding of these affairs. These quarrels must stop before your inhabitants start fighting each other. Who should be your religious leaders? So it looks like there's no major difference between these two. They're both going to push me to the left towards tradition. This one will push us further to the right towards progress, but it won't change anything because we're still within that block of 4 that gives us the benefit that we're in there. So this will actually push us back into the bonus for stability, and we lose the bonus for science output. These two, however, appear to be essentially the same. We're going to be leaning into science, however, for our classical era, I hope. So let's go ahead and try that. We're about ready to trigger this aesthete bonus. We'll see how that works out in our favor. So we're still burning this. Still going to take 6 more turns. If I move these guys away sooner, then I lose the gold I would have gotten. All right. We've started raising this outpost. It's almost complete. This one is getting complete as well. This army is now back up to full health. I'm going to have it come meet these guys. Now this says +10 stability on city or outpost. Oh, we collected a curiosity, huh? But does that apply to all of our cities? Probably not. Plus 20 is base value. Plus 4 from districts. That's the bonus we got from our choice earlier. Plus 2 from administrative center. So that is... Oh, that's one of the 2 districts. The main plaza is the other district. Interesting. What about our maker's quarter? Didn't we build a maker's quarter? Oh, that's actually getting -8. That's where... Okay, so the maker's quarter and the farmer's quarter are getting a combined -16. Whereas the administrative and the main plaza give plus 2 each. Because they don't give negatives. And we get plus 70 for civilization bonus from ideology. That's these. Remember, I've got 20, 40, 60, and then this is only 10. Because all of these are 10, just off axis are 10. So the further extreme, you get bigger and bigger bonuses, but you get less and less stability as you go towards the extremes. It's a very interesting way of looking at it. All right, 6 turns till we get that. Now we've gained masonry. This is the one that will allow us to build extra influence on our main plaza, which isn't a huge amount, but there's very few ways to gain influence. So that's one of them. New grievance available.
You have my greetings, but that's all that you're getting.
They attacked one of my armies at Alcor. They don't like me very much, do they? So they... Oh, interesting. The Olmecs aren't coming to save the day. It's the... Who are these guys? The Babylonians are coming to fight me. Huh. And because we're trapped here, we don't have a place to deploy. Oh! And we're a little bit weaker than we normally would be. Can we retreat? The army will be destroyed if there are no free tiles available. I think we're destroyed if we do that then. Let's confirm the battle and see what happens. So I think I can't deploy anywhere else, so I'm stuck here. Oh, they're coming from above. They attacked us. Yeah, these scouts are doomed. Unless we just hold on until the end. If we hold on... There's only 3 rounds. Maybe we just don't die. Oh no, they took it before I could put the reinforcement in, so it doesn't matter. So they killed them. They killed them! They killed one of them. Now there's a second one automatically because of that. Alright, well, instant battle. We lose that one too, I'm sure. Those jerks, they wanted to raid the Olmecs themselves. But now, anyway, I have this grievance. I can be like, yo, lady. Why you do? Now, if we don't turn these grievances into demands, then we get bonuses to our war support each turn, I believe. Oh no, it's... Grievances are the aspects of the empire dislikes about another empire's actions. They can be turned into official demands before they expire. So we can leave this here, and I think every turn for 10 turns... Oh no, those are instant, so that doesn't do anything. It's just 10 turns until we have to turn those into some kind of method. Now the demands don't have to be money. Money is usually the demand, I think, that comes out of your grievance of being attacked. But there are other grievances like, hey, you control the territory, but I control the culture in that territory. My people are being oppressed by you. Give me the territory, because it's mine by right of culture. Let's demand one of these. We do have a trade treaty, but... Oh, damn, I do want to buy Mercury from her. Let's demand one and see what happens.
You have but one chance to save your stinking skin!
This is unforgivable!
You attacked me. Why is it unforgivable? Did it say what just happened? Did she respond? I guess not. Ah, we have to pick a new technology. Now, something to do with... This would give us luxury resources. That gives us more stability. This would give us the ability to get those horses that we have. And then this one would get us the ability to do the copper that we were looking to do. Walls and stuff give us better stuff there. Maybe we should do the calendar first. Oops, hang on. There we go. Put that in number 1. You hold Alt and click, and it puts it at the head of the queue. If you don't hold Alt, it puts it at the end of the queue. Very useful. Well, we don't have much of an army to defend ourselves now, so it's pretty important. We do have the army to defend our outposts over here. But we do not have much of an army to defend our main settlements. So after we do this, we're going to need to start cranking out some troops. Luckily, we'll have the ability to build archers and warriors, I believe, instead of just the scouts by the time that happens. So I don't know what these guys are going to do, except maybe just chill on this higher ground right in front of the river. So if anybody wants to come through here, now they can still slip past us over here, but if anybody wants to come through here, my scouts are going to see them. Okay, never mind. We still do have these two guys. I'm going to send them back down here to see if we can get rid of this bug. Because every time we tried to do it before, it kept getting blocked. All right, 4 turns until we have this. Kang converted to a new religion. So Kang is one of these regions that doesn't show us the name unless we click on it. So we haven't seen this. So you see this screen, right? This shows you a bunch of information, shows you where all the luxury and strategic resources are. It shows you where the buildings are, or not the buildings, the cities are. But it also shows you, if you'll notice, these little sun-looking things, rising sun-looking things. Those are the special, I could say, bonus resources. They're not luxury, they're not strategic, but they do increase the output of the tile. See, this is a prairie with berry bushes. Prairie normally has 2 food, but this has 3 food because it has berry bushes. If you zoom in, you can kind of see that there's berry bushes there, but it's not too distinct from other prairie. So it doesn't really, gouge things. Some of them are very obvious. Like, this is very obvious. This blue is a marsh, and that gives an extra food and an extra industry on the tile. And you can see that has also got the little rising sun. But the other thing you can see on this screen is the culture war, which is based on influence being generated. So this works similar to Civ 6 or Civ 5 or any other Civs, where you produce culture and you can take over tiles with your culture over time. In this case, it's territories. And only territories that are actually controlled by an outpost or a city are capturable, right? There's no outpost or city on this territory, so it's not in the process of being captured. This one is being fought over between our 2, right? We can take a look here, and we can see that our capital has 3 influence on this. It says 5, though. 5 from Lake Baikal, so it's got 5 locally. Lake Baikal gives 5 influence just for being in the tile, in the territory. So normally outposts don't give local influence production, but this one does. So it's 5 for that, and then it's additional 3 being exhibited from our capital, which is what, 30%, I think, because our capital produces, it's 8. Capital produces 8 from influence in the district. So I guess the further it goes, the less impact it has. But this one is producing 2 locally, and it's being influenced by probably other cities over here, which is why we are only at 29%, and it's not in the process of changing. This one, however, is neutral, and it's in the process of changing over to zoo. So I would say, for example, if these guys started putting out a bunch more influence, what would happen is when they got more than 50% influence control in this region from production outside pushing in, then this would switch to convert to the Assyrian culture, and it would convert faster if they controlled more of it. So when they get 51%, it starts converting, but it says, I don't know, 30 turns to convert. But if they were at 75%, it would say, okay, 3 turns to convert or something like that. That's how I think it would work, based on the last OpenDev and this one. Now, religions work a very similar way, as far as I can tell. This has 10 influence from Zoo shamanism, because 10 is being produced by that territory because it's a state religion for me. Over here, there's 38. So 8 faith is impacting this. 8 of my faith is impacting this. And 10 of theirs is impacting it. They've got 10 produced locally, but we've got 8 of the 21 faith impacting this at all. 8 is coming from me, which is why I've got some small percentage of this here. But right now, the Assyrians still have the plurality, so they are still, the Assyrian polytheism is still going to convert this region in the next 3 turns. This one, however, is getting the vast majority of... Now, when this converts, we might start feeling some pressure from their faith. The good news is we are in the process of building a holy district, which will increase our faith output and continue to push faith over towards them. A carcass of riches. Wild animals in the forests around the city have always blah, blah, blah. They believe the carcasses can be harvested for their military, decorative, or subsistence applications. So we can reduce the cost of building military units for 10 turns, increase the money generated for 10 turns, or increase the food generated for 10 turns. We don't have the population in our cities to produce military units, because each military unit takes a population point away from the city. So I think harvest is the right way to go, because I don't think we're close to our cap. No, we have 14 as our max. We need more. And you can see here, it's flooded, which is hurting me, but that's going away soon. Does it say when? Does that mean it's going away next turn? I don't know. But bountiful means we get plus 10 food, plus 5 food for 10 turns. Good deal. Now, what is this? One city is participating in construction. Oh, yes, that's right, because wonders and I guess holy sites are shared projects. Multiple cities can contribute towards building them. They don't have to be just the one city that's here. We don't have a second city yet. I'd like this to be my second city. However, we need 160 influence. We're pretty close, 2 turns away from doing that. And then I could connect this region to that region. So then we have 2 cities which have 2 territories each. Mimosa converted to a new religion. I bet you this one. Yep, that's this one. Let's take a look at how religion is going now. Oh, interesting. Now Zoo shamanism is pushing out. Now, why is there 10 here? It's contributing to the hold over the selected territory. It produces 10 faith for its religion, resulting in 10 faith impact over the selected territory. Faith impact decreases depending upon the 2 territories' separation. So this region is producing 10 locally, because that's what my religion produces. If we go and look at the actual religion, we can see shamanism produces 10 faith. Polytheism produces, I think, 5 faith. That's why shamanism is spreading more easily, I believe. Number of holy sites honoring Zoo shamanism built in this territory is 0, but that's changing somewhere else. 0 followers of your state religion here. So this is producing 10 locally, but it's not getting as much from over here. In fact, somehow it looks like the Zoo shamanism is over here. I need to really go explore that, or maybe just get these guys to trade maps. Let's see if they want to do a treaty for information sharing.
You have my ear.
Things change, even leaders and empires. I have a proposal for you.
I'm not interested. Not at all. No.
Well, screw you two then. Screw you two then. It looks like this is just a graphical glitch, then. I don't see anything happening over here. I'm just going to bring this guy back over here and defend this area with him, with those 2 scouts. When I build up a little army to defend the capital region, then I'll send those scouts out to explore other regions. We might want to... Oh, domestication research. Good. We now have the ability, I believe, to harvest, quote-unquote, horses. And we gained a scientist star because we've unlocked 4 of 4 required technologies. The next star, the silver star, requires 7 science unlocks. We're still trying to get to 300 influence. We got to population and science before we got to influence. We so far have not been able to do that, but here we go. Immediately convert a territory to your influence at no cost, regardless of the influence values. If you do not have the strongest influence in that territory, there's a high chance it will start converting back. So we could use this on a territory, but there's no territories adjacent to us, except this is a neutral one, huh? Yes, we haven't seen these yet in this build, but in the previous build, these neutral factions would appear. These are kind of like the city-states in Civ 6. So these ones are peaceful. They will not attack you first. It's also at its zenith because it's built a city. Their orientations are individualism and homeland, which affects how much they like me, I assume. It shows what we are compared to them. Your populations distrust each other. The cost of all positive actions targeting this population are increased. If we were more like them, I'm guessing the global proximity here would be higher. Cannot be done as you must wait for this outpost to become a city in order to interact with them. So we can't do much with them, but could we do an influence bomb on them? Oh, that's interesting. So they've got their own name now. Oh, I did. I did it. Okay. I don't think I wanted to do that, but I did it anyway. I guess we'll see how that shakes out in the near future. Sacred ground has been locked by another empire. Somebody else got that deed. Sacred ground. Build a holy site. Damn, we were one turn away, weren't we? Yeah, we could have got sacred ground, but we're one turn away. All right, we've also got a civic we can unlock. Oh, the only one we have done is natural right. Is that it? Yes, that's the one we did to get extra influence. Ah, how do we deal with independent people? We can modify the assimilate cost by 20%. That seems like the right thing to do, but it'll slide us over towards homeland, which will make them like us more. And we'll get extra food. That's not terrible. Army composition. We can also decide how we want this. But professional soldiers means we can have fewer combat units that are stronger. This lets us have more combat units that are cheaper. This is almost always better, though, in these games because the upkeep gets you in trouble. And you can only have so many units in an army. But 20% reduction is huge. +1 combat strength is fairly low. And then legitimacy applies status celebrating on new cities. So new cities get bonuses to their stability as soon as they come online. This reduces the cost to absorb city or attach outpost by 20%. I think I like that independent peoples one because it will make it easier to assimilate those guys and it'll get us closer to them liking us. And then we can also find out if we're right about that. Yeah, see, they distrust us a little bit less. All right, these guys are back in town. So we've already pretty much explored everything. We don't know. Yeah, there's a little bit more, another territory down in this peninsula. I just don't want to leave and have us be completely defenseless in the capital here. So I'm keeping these scouts here for now. What is this? Mercenaries. From the Akkadians. We cannot patronize. Because they have to become a city. I don't want to fight them because I want to try to get them to join my side. I can't see when they have become a city yet, I guess. Aha! So we are the most influential, and we're going to stay that way because they are not sending a lot of influence. They're only sending 7. We're sending 19. So we're going to keep our influence over them. We do want to get this. It'll give us more influence. Maybe I should send my scouts up here. Okay, maybe we can go around. Let's try to send them around this mountain here. It does look like a beautiful mountain. I want to kind of look up Roraima now. Where is that in real life? South America looks like somewhere, not Colombia, further to the east. Venezuela. It is certainly unusual. We can throw this up on the stream here. Hold on. You can see there. That's certainly unusual. See those sort of full-on flat faces. Okay, so now let's see if I'm right. So we gained a ton of stability. We gained a bunch of faith and some influence from building this holy site. Now, oh, I was really hoping we could build a Confucian school right here. But apparently you can't build adjacent to the holy site. Well, that's very annoying. But, oh, we can't build that either. How do we build that damn bronze thing? We're working on it, I guess. Well, we could build on this to get that luxury resource, or we could continue building this way in order to try and get the ability to build our Confucian school over there. Now, we are with the ability to build this into a city. It'll take 12 turns, which is based on how much production it has in the city. And it has 4, 8, 9, it looks like, which is why it's going to take 12 turns. It should be 11, though. I don't know. These guys gained a population here, you can see. Again, it's not doing anything. It's just preparing to be able to do something as a city. Same thing here, except we can build a horse ranch, which is going to take some time. Actually, we could speed it up by sacrificing a population or money. I don't know that we want to speed it up that way. I'm going to hold off. So this doesn't need to be where it is. It should really have just gone somewhere else. Anyway. What about these guys now? We still have to wait for the outpost to become a city. 21 turns? Rise and fall. You cannot patronize. Huh. It doesn't show any time span of it becoming a city. I just have to keep waiting and seeing, I guess.
Come over here.
Wonderful Great Blue Hole has been locked by another empire. Be the first to discover the Great Blue Hole. We did not find that. Circumnavigating the world is another one. Discover movable typeface. These seem to be dynamic because it didn't show me some of these wonders were possible to find. I think it must show me only the ones that are nearby me. We are also quite a few distances away in terms of stars. But I think we're about to get our bronze star here, which will get us 131 fame. Oh boy, we are in last place of last places. We're going to have to do a little better than that.
Follow me.
Ah, there's our aesthete star. Hopefully we can now get to 600 fairly quickly to get another star there. This is still slowly turning into a city. We're going to build another farmer's quarter right here. Or here. 6, 6. Let's build it here. Because if you get a 3 farmers' quarters next to each other, they all boost each other because it's +1 per adjacent farmers' quarter. So you put them in a little triangle shape, and each one gets +2 from each adjacent one. It's pretty useful. It's too much money to spend up front, so we're not going to do it. Meanwhile, these guys are going to continue exploring north. Oh, there's actually some
Right.
horses up here as well. Ah! Patronage. I could praise them by spending influence, or I could give them money. And if they're indifferent, they won't attack me because they're peaceful. If they're tolerant, I can buy their resources, they won't attack me, and they share their map vision with me. If they're cordial, their armies can be hired as mercenaries. And if they're friendly, you can assimilate this independent empire. So let's try doing that slowly but surely. Spend a little bit of money. +4 per turn for how many turns? Is it just +4? +2, I guess? We'll have to see. That is going to take a lot. We can also get salt from them. Can't be done without a trade agreement. We can do that once we get to this here. We can buy their resources. Salt sounds good. I like it. We can get our own salt, but each source of salt gives extra food and extra stability. Somebody else got to... Whoa, wait a minute. Somebody else got to another... Oh, God, they got to the classical era already. We may have chosen too high a difficulty for our first run through here. Oh, good. Carcasses. I love a good carcass. We should probably lock this territory down, but... Oh, wow. 14 food and 5 production.
Let's go.
That's pretty good. And it would have Mount Roraima in it, which gives its own bonuses. This is still converting to a city. We don't have perfect stability here, but one of these gives bonuses to stability, I think. Maybe we haven't unlocked it yet. No, we can get buildings that do unlock bonuses to stability. Anyway, Farmer's Quarter. I'm going to go ahead and pay it so that I can do this. There we go. No! It still doesn't allow us to do the science one here. Damn it, I thought it would exploit the science out in the sea, but I guess you can never get that unless you do a harbor or something. So that'll be later. Huh. Okay, so this district, not going to be super useful in this capital region. Because there are only these sea-based science things. I don't see any other places to put it, do you? So we could put it somewhere just to get the bonus... Oh, bonus science per adjacent mountain. That does give us a possibility. Oops. Not what I meant to do. So here I would get 2 adjacent mountains, but I don't think I can put it there. I think I still have to put it, you know, like this. So plus... So we'd lose a little bit of food there. The main thing is... It gives you +5 stability. It adds a research slot, which is very important. And it could have potentially gotten an extra bit of science. Now, why does it want me to put it there? I lose a lot there. think I'd rather have it over here. And then probably want this. Now this gives bonus vision range on garrison. What is a garrison? I know what the main plaza is. So, I mean, I like having extra vision range. Maybe it just means all of the different districts. Defensive enclosure made from stakes, palisades. I should probably have this. I'm falling far behind. I don't want to risk it. And then maybe I'll get some archers. And then we'll see about maybe getting our... Where is our specialty unit? Huh. These guys. You need to research wheel to get it. Okay. So we're getting bronze working because we need that in order to get it, but we also need the wheel, which is here. So 12 turns before we can start building our special unit. So now we have bronze working. We can get copper. We had copper somewhere, did we not? Or I thought we had access to copper. Ah, right here, right next to us. So this will give us a little bit of science and some copper. We're no longer going to be bountiful. We finally got rid of that flooding thing. We're still at 50% stability, so that's not terrible. These guys were going to go explore up here just to see what there was to see. Okay. So we've explored all the things. Now we can decide where we want to put this. I think that's okay. Get another outpost going. And let's see, we are 43 turns in. Probably a decent spot to call it for the first part here. So we gained a new civic that we could potentially look at. It unlocks procession, spend money to increase stability. That seems very valuable. Or religious district industry cost goes down by 10%. Well, I can't use either of them yet, but I want to know what the hell is a religious district? Resource, fame, empire progression. There's nothing here about religious. No. Okay, I like that they have that. It doesn't seem to be really well and truly involved. I'm just kind of browsing through here, trying to see if there's a research quarter. Why is that shaped like a unit? Shouldn't that be a hexagon? Rhetoric. I don't see any religious district. Maybe what they mean is the holy site. Because it doesn't look like... Okay, theology is here. This is just a building. This is just a building. Infrastructure, whatever they want to call it. Anyway, let's call it there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be picking this up tomorrow as well. This is not a closed beta. This is an open beta. You can go to Steam and search for Victor OpenDev, and it should be available there. If it's not, you might need to look on the Humankind page on Steam. They just made a post about it, and they showed you the 3 different ways that you can get into the beta. I think if you pre-ordered it, you can get in. If you had access to the Lucy OpenDev, you can get in, and I'm pretty sure you can get in another way as well. All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I am Bridger, signing off. We'll be back tomorrow, 10:30 Eastern Time. That is -4 UTC.